Hello, I'm Charles Smith, a docent here at America's Car Museum, and I would like to tell you about the next If Cars Could Talk presentation next Tuesday, January 9th at 11:30 a.m. at the America's Car Museum. We'll be talking about the DeLorean automobile and John DeLorean. John DeLorean was a masterful young engineer who grew up in the Detroit area. He was the son of Austrian and Romanian immigrants who came to the Detroit area, went to the Detroit school area. Also, he attended Lawrence Tech Institute, where he received his degree in electrical engineering. He went to work for Chrysler Corporation, and then as part of Chrysler, he was able to go to their technical institute and receive his master's degree. After that, he began work at the Packard Automobile Company. When he worked for Packard Automobile, he was attributed with many patents that helped them produce a new Ultramatic transmission. He also was able to get introduced to Bunky Knudsen, one of the engineers at Pontiac. And at Pontiac, he became their youngest senior engineer and responsible for some of the most iconic muscle cars in the 1960s. He was responsible for getting the Pontiac GTO, the car that basically started the muscle cars in the 1960s, as well as the Pontiac Firebird and the redesign of the Pontiac Grand Prix. His engineering expertise led him to go into management, and he was selected to be the manager for the Chevrolet corporate department of General Motors. As manager of Chevrolet, he helped introduce the new subcompact car called the Vega, and also became sort of a playboy and a maverick executive in the upstairs departments of General Motors. He had dated many actresses and models, and actually married two of them. Married Kelly Harmon back in the late 60s, and then he married Christina Ferrara, who was a beautiful actress and model at the time. When he became president of Chevrolet, he ruffled some feathers in General Motors. As a matter of fact, after he resigned in 1973, he actually published a book, On a Clear Day, You Can See GM. So that basically exposed a lot of the management techniques that he was butting heads against as a manager of General Motors. But anyway, during that time, he wanted to have his own ethical sports car as part of his legacy. So he managed to get with Allstate Insurance and get $500,000 to fund the research project to do his safety vehicle. And by the time 1978 came around, he was able to get financing from the Northern Irish government to build a factory near Belfast in Dunbury, Northern Ireland. They actually built the factory in a little less than 2 years and started producing the DeLorean DMC-12 sports car. They helped get it designed from Lotus, which was the Formula One racing car manufacturer. Had the designer Giorgetto Giugiaro of Ital design the car. And the features of the car were notable at the time. It was a rear-engined, plastic-bodied construction car, but it had stainless steel panels for long life. It was opened by gull-winged doors that were very stylish, and the car was on its way to being one of the most successful sports cars of its time. But unfortunately, the recession in 1980 and 81 in the United States caused the sales of cars to decline enough to where basically the company ran out of money. And when the company ran out of money, DeLorean went to get new sponsorship and tried to get new funds for it. Unfortunately, he was drug into a U.S. sting operation with cocaine dealers and managed to get arrested in 1982, and eventually he was acquitted of the crime of cocaine dealing, but it ruined his reputation. After that, he basically was unable to get any more business interests started, and the DeLorean car basically, after about 9,000 cars were produced, was no longer in production. The last probable thing that you can probably understand about DeLorean automobiles was the movie in 1985, Back to the Future, where they had a car, DeLorean, that went back in time and forward in time. We'll tell all those stories and everything else in that we can think of as part of the Cars Could Talk presentation next Tuesday, January 9th at 11:30 at America's Car Museum. Hope you can come and visit.